The FedLife podcast is presented by Serving Those Who Serve, a fiduciary, fee-based financial planning firm serving federal government employees and retirees all over the country. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended to be taken as financial advice. All listeners should consult their personal advisors before taking any action. The opinions expressed by our hosts are their own and do not reflect the views, policies, or position of Raymond James. Securities are offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services are offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. Serving Those Who Serve is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services, Inc. And now, here are your hosts. Dan Sipe serves as a branch manager for Raymond James Financial Services and Serving Those Who Serve. Ed Zerndorfer is our guest and federal benefits expert in the space.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the FedLife podcast. If you're regular, you know who I am. If you're not, let me introduce myself. I'm your host, Dan Sipe. I'm the branch manager here at Serving Those Who Serve, at least Sipe & Associates. I'm going to begin, as I always do, by saying thank you. Thank you for taking the time to watch or listen. But above all, thank you for your service to the government, to the country, to me, to everyone. You're not hearing those thanks right now, people, and I hate it. I hate it to my core. So on behalf of Team SWS and Team Taxpayer here, thank you for everything you do. You don't hear it enough. You're always going to hear it here. And we're going to be here throughout all of this, making sure that you have the resources to make the best decisions for the challenges that you are facing right now. Once again, we have my buddy Ed Zerndorfer back with us. Yes, sir, the guru is here as part of our ongoing mission to reach, teach, and serve you. So once again, as is our wont, we will follow Ed's FedZone articles as one more way for us to reach and teach. And Ed, we've been spending a lot of time answering questions and guiding our feds through this current rough patch with executive orders and RIFs and everything else. Now, your latest article does bring a bit of normalcy back in the fact that it covers the Medicare Annual Enrollment Period. So here's the thing, folks. We understand that DRP, fork in the road, VERAs, RIFs, those are all realities right now. But the other reality is there are other things you need to take care of. So we're going to cover all of it. So yes, we do have a special webinar just for VERA. So hit up our website and you'll be able to see that. But we're also covering this stuff so you don't miss important things. So every year from January to March, folks can enroll in Medicare. And Ed, your article opens with the basics. So for example, for the folks who are just brand new to it, just turning 65, let's give them that primer. So you go to the basics. So what are Part A and Part B and what do they cost?
Okay. So there are four parts to Medicare. We're going to be talking about the original Medicare, which is Medicare Part A, the hospital insurance, and Medicare Part B, the medical insurance. So what is Medicare Part A? Is hospital insurance. What does it cover? It covers inpatient hospital care, skilled nursing facility inpatient care, hospice care, and some home health care. Medicare Part B, medical insurance, pays for doctor services, medical equipment, laboratory services such as blood tests and x-rays, and outpatient care. So those are the basics for Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B. I want to point out that Medicare Part A, the hospital insurance, is free for most employees. Why is it free? Because during an individual's working lifetime, every 2 weeks, in case of federal employees, or every week, and some employees are every month, we have payroll deductions from our paychecks. Some of those payroll deductions are what we call mandatory. One mandatory deduction is what's called the Medicare Hospital Insurance Tax, HIT. It's equal to 1.45% of one's wages, matched by the individual's employer. So federal employees have been paying during their working lifetime. When they were in high school, let's say, had a job in high school. They went to college, maybe they were in the military. Military, they pay the Medicare payroll tax. Then they
Sure.
got their first job and so on. So during one's lifetime, if an individual has been paying that Medicare hospital insurance tax for 10 years, any 10 years, Dan, any 10 years, then they are eligible for Medicare Part A starting at age 65 at no premium cost. There is
Gotcha.
no cost whatsoever, premium cost, if a person's paying that Medicare pay, hospital insurance tax for a minimum 10 years, any 10 years. So that'll be consecutive, any 10 years. Medicare Part B, on the other hand, is not free. You have to pay a monthly premium for that. And what is that monthly premium amount? It depends on your income. The higher your income, the more you have to pay for Medicare Part B. Part B.
Gotcha.
It varies from one year to the next, depending on your income. Every year, Medicare finds out what your adjusted gross income was from your tax return, and they will send you a notice, usually in November or December, preceding the year that covers like this. Like for 2025, my wife and I got our Medicare notices in November telling us what we have to pay each month for Medicare Part B, the monthly premium.
Gotcha. And your article also touches on there being some deadlines for applying. So our feds are covered for FEHB. They all have initial enrollment periods, but also, our folks who are already retired, they've got to watch some dates there, correct?
That is correct. The enrollment periods for Medicare are three. The first one's called the initial enrollment period. The initial enrollment period. The initial enrollment period is a 7-month period centered on the month an individual turns 65. So, to do an example, myself. I turned 65 years old in January 2016. My initial enrollment period, let's go back 3 months, Dan, from January. December, November, October. So my initial enrollment period started on October the 1st, 2015. When did it end? Let's go forward. October, November, December, January, the month I turned 65. Now go forward 3 months. February, March, April. So my 7-month initial enrollment period ended on April the 30th, 2016.
Gotcha.
In which I could enroll in Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B if I wanted to, because you have that option. Let me just throw this out. You are not required to sign up for Medicare. It's your choice. It's your choice. And that includes, and I get this question a lot of times from federal retirees, do I really have to sign up for Medicare? Do I really have to? After all, I got my federal employee health insurance. That is a subject in itself. We're not going to get into that discussion. If you want to know more,
Gotcha.
If you are a federal retiree and you want to learn why it's recommended you sign up for Medicare Part B, we encourage you to attend. I'm going to make a push here, Dan.
Please do.
To attend one of our monthly webinars entitled Understanding Federal Employee Health Benefits, FEHB, health insurance, and TRICARE. TRICARE is the group health insurance plan insurance program that retired members of uniformed services are in. Please, you need to attend that webinar. We explain everything and why we recommend you sign up for Medicare. But getting back to my point, that you do not have to sign up for Medicare. And OPM, I want to make this very clear, does not require a federal retiree to sign up for Medicare. Most federal retirees will sign up for Medicare Part A. Why? Because it's free, like I said a few moments ago. Where they're having the problem is with Medicare Part B. They don't understand it. I'm not going to explain why you should, but the main reason is because it costs. It costs. That's the main. It's not free. So we're not going to get a discussion. All right. So during that 7-month initial enrollment period, that's when you sign up for Medicare Part A and Part B together. If you retire before age 65, you can't sign up for Medicare because you have to wait till you're 65. 65.
Gotcha.
Now, if you retire after age 65, that's a different story. That's a different story. We'll talk about that. That'll get us into you also will have an initial enrollment period if you retire from age after 65. The reason it's somewhat different when you are working in federal service past age 65 and you are enrolled in a federal employee health insurance health benefits program, health insurance plan, is that while you're still an active employee, there's really no need to sign up for Medicare Part B, because as long as you are in federal service, your FEHB health insurance will be your primary insurance, will be primary as long as you're in federal service. I said a few moments ago that most federal retirees do sign up for Medicare Part A because it's free. What about if you're in federal service? Does it make sense to sign up for Medicare Part A if you're still in federal service? It does. But if you do sign up for Medicare Part A while you're still a federal employee, Medicare Part A will be secondary in terms of your hospital insurance, hospital care, paying for hospital care.
Sure.
And your federal employee health insurance will be primary. But I want to throw another thing out here. When a federal employee should not sign up for Medicare Part A when they reach their 65th birthday. And that is when a federal employee is enrolled in a high deductible health insurance plan associated with a health savings account, an HSA. An HSA, we talk about this also during our monthly webinar, is a savings account that will be used to pay for out-of-pocket medical, dental, vision expenses. The
Gotcha.
beauty of the HSA is you fund it. There's no use or lose proposition here like this with the healthcare FSA. And most important, you can use the HSA to pay for out-of-pocket medical, dental, vision expenses in retirement, including, by the way, Dan, reimbursing you for Medicare Part B monthly premiums.
It's awesome.
And the money you're taking out of your HSA, the money goes in is pre-tax. You accrue earnings in the HSA, and all qualified withdrawals from your HSA, qualified meaning it pays for out-of-pocket medical, dental, vision expenses, are tax-free. I call it a trifecta tax benefit. But again, getting back to you're still in federal service. When you enroll in Medicare, you have this HSA. You keep the HSA, but at that point, you are no longer allowed to contribute to your HSA. You can't put any money in. So if you are still in federal service, working past 65, and you want to continue funding your HSA, don't enroll in Medicare Part A. Hold off. And when you do enroll in Medicare Part A, you will not be penalized. We're going to talk about that next during what's called a special enrollment period. Special enrollment period.
Gotcha. Okay, so one of the things the article touches on is, what happens if somebody doesn't enroll during initial enrollment period. So what do we want to talk about there?
So we have a federal retiree, someone who retired before age 65, and they forgot to enroll in Medicare when they reach their 65th birthday.
Yep.
They, during that initial enrollment period, they did not enroll within the initial enrollment period. So the question is, when can they enroll in Medicare, in the original Medicare? Answer, something called the General Enrollment Period, the GEP. The General Enrollment Period is held every year between January 1st and March 31st, in which someone who is not enrolled in Medicare A and B, or maybe even Medicare Part B. Maybe the person did sign up for Medicare Part A, but decided, I don't want to sign up for Medicare Part B. I don't think it's worth it. But then they get, then after the initial enrollment period, they get somewhere down the line, they get second thoughts. Oh, I made a mistake. I better enroll in Medicare Part B. The only time you can enroll in Medicare Part B is during the General Enrollment Period, GEP. All right. So during the GEP, the General Enrollment Period, you can sign up for Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B. Medicare Part A, no problem, no penalty, nothing to worry about. Medicare Part B, there could be what's called a late enrollment penalty. Why a penalty? Because you didn't sign up during your initial enrollment period. And Medicare says, well, we're sorry, but you didn't sign up when you were first eligible. Therefore, you could be subject to a late enrollment penalty. What do I mean you could be? Here's the rule when it comes to late enrollment penalty for Medicare Part B. It also applies to Medicare Part D, but we're not talking about Medicare Part D. We're talking about Medicare Part B. The rule is for every 12 months, full 12 months, that you did not sign up for Medicare Part B, you will pay 10% more. 10% of what? Of the what's called the first income tier monthly premium. This year, we're going to use last year as an example. Last year's first income tier monthly premium was $174.70. $174.70. So if someone did not sign up for Medicare Part B and they're signing up, and it's been between, let's say, between 12 and 24 months that between the time that they were end of their initial enrollment period and when they sign up for Medicare Part B, they will pay an additional $17.47 added to their existing monthly premium for the rest of their life, Dan. Dan, I hate penalties. I hate any type of penalty. IRS penalty.
Oh, I know that.
You can't avoid it if you know the rules.
Yep.
So when would woman be subject to that full 12 months penalty? Given with the General Enrollment Period. Until the year 2023, when you signed up for Medicare Part B during the General Enrollment Period, your coverage always took effect the following July 1st. But then the rule changed. Effective January 1st, 2023, if you sign up for Medicare Part B in January of the General Enrollment Period, when does your coverage take effect? February 1st. You sign up during February. When does your coverage take effect? March 1st. If you sign up during March, when does your coverage take effect? April 1st. So for some individuals who did not sign up during the initial enrollment period, and they did sign up, let's say, during the following General Enrollment Period, they will not have a full 12 months in which they were not enrolled in Medicare Part B. And I think the best way to do this is do an example. I think I have an example here in a column I wrote. Okay. Let's see if I can find. I'm going to find the example. All right. Okay. So we have someone who retired from federal service on December the 31st, 2023. And they turned 65 years old. They turned 65 years old on June the 25th, 2024, Dan. They retired from federal service on December 31st, 2023, and they turned 65 years old on June the 25th, 2024. All right. So when is their initial enrollment? What is their 7-month initial enrollment period? Okay. They turned 65 in June. The preceding month, May, April, March 1st. March 1st was their start of initial enrollment period. What was the end of their initial enrollment period? July, August, September. September 30th, Dan.
Gotcha.
And they didn't sign up. They didn't sign up for Medicare Part B during that initial enrollment period, end of which was September 30, 2024. So what happened? They found out. They attended one of our webinars.
There you go.
They found out that they can sign up for Medicare Part B, A and B during the General Enrollment Period. And they signed up in January 2025. When did their coverage take effect then? If they sign up for Medicare A and B in January 2025, when did their coverage take effect?
February.
February 1st.
Yep.
Will they be subject to a 10% late enrollment penalty? No, because the end of their initial enrollment period was September 30th, 2024. Let's go forward. October, November, December, January. That's 4 months. Is that less than 12 months? Yes, they're not subject to a late enrollment penalty.
And that's good news.
So that's for someone who, an individual, like an example here, his name is Daniel. He retired from federal service before age 65.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to talk about someone who retires after age 65 and who continues from federal service, continues working federal service. What is their situation? When do they have to sign up for Medicare A and B? As I said a few moments ago, there is no reason for a federal employee who is enrolled in the Federal Employee Health Insurance Program, who is working past age 65, they really do not have to sign up for Medicare Part B while they're still working. So in that case, when that employee retires, when will they sign up for Medicare Part B? Do they have to wait for a General Enrollment Period? No. They have the third type of enrollment period, the third type. It's called the Special Enrollment Period, SEP, in which the retiree can sign up for Medicare Part B, A and B for that matter, A and B, during the SEP. The SEP is an 8-month period starting on the effective date of retirement, effective date of the individual's retirement, and ending 8 months later. What is the effective date of retirement? For most employees, it's the first day of the month after they retire. So I have an example. We have someone named, let's look in here. I lose track of my names here. We have Carol. Now, Carol, she's 68 years old. She retired from federal service on December 31st, 2023. She previously had enrolled in Medicare Part A when she was 65, but she did not sign up for Medicare Part B because she knew she was going to continue in federal service.
Makes sense.
She retired December 31st, 2023. The effective date of Carol's retirement is January 1st, was January 1st, 2024. Go forward 8 months, Dan. That brings you to August 31st, 2024. So Carol's SEP was January 1st, 2024 through August 31st, 2024. And during that 8-month period, she could sign up for Medicare Part B and not be subject to a late enrollment penalty. If she didn't sign up on August 31st, 2024, by August 31st, 2024, then Carol is going to have to wait to the General Enrollment Period, next one, January 1st, 2025.
Gotcha.
And there could be a late enrollment penalty. Well, actually no, because her end of her SEP was August 31st, 2024. She signed up during January, February, or March 2025 to Medicare Part B. It would be less than a year between the time she signed up and August 31st, 2024. She would not be subject to a penalty. But
Gotcha.
if she does not sign up during the current General Enrollment Period, let's say she doesn't sign up by March 31st, 2025, then she's going to have to wait to the next General Enrollment Period, which is January 1st, 2026, and there will be a late enrollment penalty because it'll be more than a year. So these are the rules that Medicare has as far as signing up in the right period and not be subject to a late enrollment penalty.
So it sounds like the General Enrollment Period is, for a lot of folks, is an opportunity to avoid a penalty, if they're within that 12 months, or end up making sure the penalty doesn't get any bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
By jumping in. So that's valuable stuff. And once again, folks, I'll urge you to hit the Fed Zone, get the article. Again, we're taking the notes for you, so you can just download them and grab that copy because Ed's got plenty of great examples in there that you can read through as well.
In addition, Dan, I want to mention, in addition to the Fed Zone, we have a special publication in
Yes,
the
we do.
vault. The vault and the VAULT. VAULT is called the vault on understanding FEHB and Medicare. It's a 38-page publication. You can download it. There's charts in there. Everything I just talked about, as complicated as it is, it's all summarized. There's a chart. You can go to it. How to sign up for Medicare. All the forms you need. Go online. Everything is needed there. Everything that's in that publication, I basically talked about it here, but we'll also talk about it during our FEHB and Medicare webinar. It's all summarized in that publication. So we encourage you to download it and use it as a guide. It's updated
folks,
every year.
Can't get it anywhere else from the guru's own hand. Ed, that's a great segue. Again, I just want to thank you for tackling these topics, making them understandable. You're a fantastic resource for all the feds and for us here at Serving Those Who Serve, and we are very grateful to you.
Thank you, Damon. My pleasure.
Folks, that is a wrap. We are Serving Those Who Serve. We're going to be here. We're going to be covering the stuff that's going on right now, whether it's DRP, Fork in the Road, Vera, you name it. We're going to be covering that, but we're also going to be covering the stuff that you don't want to miss relative to continuing to build your retirement plans for federal career. So be sure, subscribe to this podcast on our YouTube channel or Spotify. That way you're never going to miss an episode. Share it with your friends. And don't forget, Ed mentioned them, those live webinars every single week. Head over to the SWS website, swserve.com, and you will see that webinar button. Click it, takes you to the full menu. Yes, the guru will come to you. Don't even have to go anywhere. Reach where you are, teach where you are, serve you where you are. Sign up for one, sign up for all. Share it with your friends. They will thank you. Do not miss Ed in the Fed Zone, fed-zone.com, every single week, because we amplify a couple of them. There's ones we don't. You don't want to miss those. So signing off, we're not going anywhere. We will be back again and again and again. Also on our sister podcast, the Fed 15. We're up there every single week. So signing off, just for now, for Ed, the crew at Serving Those Who Serve, and me, Dan Sipe, saying as I always do, good luck, Godspeed, and above all, remember, it's your Fed life. Make it a great one because you deserve it. We're going to be here to help. We're going to help get you through this rough patch too as well. Stay well, everybody. We are out.